Like us on our Facebook page, TraxxFM Official.
15 minutes past 11. Good morning, tuning TraxxFM. Welcome to the second hour of the show. And as promised, we have got an interview right now. Allow me to introduce my amazing guest in the studio, Associate Professor Dr. D. Chang Fu from the Institute of Microengineering and Nanoelectronics, IMEN, from the National University of Malaysia, better known as University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Good morning, Professor. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Thank you very much for Miss Sophia's kind introduction.
Thank you for joining me today. Now, today we are discussing about nanotechnology and why it is absolutely important for us to know of its significance. Now, perhaps you can give us some sort of introduction on what we should know about nanotechnology.
Yeah, actually, nanotechnology is talking about things that to a very tiny scales, you know. We know that previously we know that atom is in the scale of 10 to the power of minus 10 meter.
Yeah.
Okay. If we let's say we put it in the analogs, okay. Your hair will be in 0.1 millimeter. Okay. Then you cut it into 80,000s. You cut it, the wave of the hair, you cut it into 80,000 part, and then one part of it will be in nanometers. That is the things that in nanometer size. So we are talking about control, to manipulate, to synthesis, to make things, use of the things in that particular scale.
This is the tiniest of the tiniest thing ever that we can actually think of, and it's such a small size of a nanometer. So what's so special about it, and in what way can we be reaping the benefits out of it? Why is it so useful for us?
Oh, first of all, because the properties of the materials, the bulk material, the usual material that you can see in your daily life is considered like macro size, or we call it bulk material.
Right.
So when the things you cut it, you really cut it into tiny size until they reach the nanometer scale. So what happens is the property may change. You know what? What kind of property may change? For examples, you know, a ceramic material can become elastic, and those like in this insulator material can become conducting material, electrical conducting material can become insulator. So the question is how we can able to, you know, manipulate all those things so that they make use of that kind of properties to our daily life. That is our main research interest.
Wow. So with that being said, I'm just curious, how did people actually come up with the whole idea of, you know, getting into the first research on nanoscale stuff or so-called nanotechnology? How do you actually begin?
Actually, it's like this, and people's is kind of like inspired from by the nature.
Yeah.
And before that, people knows that, you know, the lotus leaf effect. I believe a lot of people you kind of come across the lotus leaf, and then during the raining times, you know, the rain drop to the leaf of the lotus on top of it. But what happened is the lotus leaf, you observe it properly, it can't get wet, and then the rain, the water, it's become a drop, a circles on top of it, and it's just rolling around. And then the whole leaf doesn't get wet. That is because you have these nanostructures. We call it nanometer size scales of materials on top of this leaf. And another good example is, for example, this we call it kind of spiders. I don't know whether public familiar with all these spider or not. If you observe in the jungles, go to the jungles, trekking or these things, you come to a lakes, or you can observe some of the spider, they can actually floating, you know. They can sailing, floating on top of the water. You know, that's because their legs, you know, got nanostructures things and help them to actually assist them to be float on the water. That kind of things actually inspires the scientists actually go to work to research, you know, why and how does it, whether we can make the structures the same things that we can, you know, you can implement it into the science, then we can actually use it, you know, later in the future.
Wow. So based on the power of observation of human beings, looking at how nanotechnology is also somewhat applicable in nature itself, and coming back to nanotechnology and how we can actually apply it in this day of age, what are the possible applications or the current applications that has already infused nanotechnology in it that we should know of, Professor?
There's actually a lot of kind of like we can say consumer and commercial products, industrial products as well, in the industrial scale, and then people's actually coat some nanoparticles on top of the blade of the jet engine, and then it can actually kind of like prolong the lifespan of the engines, and then there's the industrial application, and also in the medical aspect, people's like kind of like, have you heard about this nanomedicines that people tends to, researcher tends to put those drugs into nanoparticles, and then whether they can control the flow of the nanoparticle just direct to the kind of, for example, cancer cell, and just kill the cancer cell only.
Wow.
Because we know that from the previous these chemotherapies, it's just like atomic bomb, when people come to a chemotherapy, it's just kill all the good and healthy or bad cells all together, and hopefully your body is strong enough so that it can survive during the chemotherapy. But nowadays we're talking about the futures. In future, we may have some of these drug delivery nanoparticle system thing, and then it can deliver just to the cancer cell and leave the healthy cell alive.
Wow.
And that's one of the wonderful things.
I see. Now, is there any direct consumer product that we actually use on a daily basis that's related or has infused the nanometer technology?
Yes, there is. There's a kind of like gel pack. I don't know whether you come across this thing or not. There's a gel pack things that you can stick on it. You can cut it to the size, whatever size you want. It's a pad things, and you can stick on thing, and then you stick your handphone on the gel, then it won't drop. No matter how vibrates your car vibrating, then it won't drop also.
Oh, okay. So that's considered one of them.
Yeah, that's considered, because it's kind of like make of gels, nanoparticles things, and then also you got the cell cleaning glasses, kind of glasses they used to fix it in the high-rise building. And then because we know that high-rise buildings, it need workers from time to time to clean the glasses.
Correct.
From the outer surface of the building. That will be quite dangerous. If you have some things that's coated with nanoparticle things, and after the sunshine, everything's under the UV lights, it can cell cleaning. That's some kind of like wonderful things we have.
Oh, that's pretty new to me. I didn't know that. Now, speaking about all the benefits and all the positive things about it, are there any apparent problems and constraints that scientists encounter when you're engaging in nanotechnology research? Is there any risk that we should know of when it comes to producing nanotechnology itself? That kind of thing actually is whatever new technology come out, there's always some constraint. There's always some difficulties of dealing with these all new technologies. For example, all these nanotechnologies, we need very high-end equipment, expensive, bulky. Not every, what I say is not every institute can have this kind of bulky and then expensive, precise instrument for doing all this kind of nano research thing. And also in terms of health issue, environmental issues, and we're still at the very beginning stage. Let's put into this way. We don't scared about new immerse of new technologies. Every new technology, they definitely got their adverse sides of it. Yes.
But let's use new technology to solve the old technologies problems. It's always like this. Science always advanced like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how have we actually upgraded or improved ourselves in terms of research of nanotechnology over, say, maybe 20, 30 years ago, like till today? Have we actually reached the peak of it, or there's a lot more to actually explore, Professor?
Oh yeah, and the actually, if you look into this way, laser. Everybody know about laser. You know, laser is invented in 1950 somethings in US. So what happens is you see from 50 somethings until now, how many years? 70 years.
Yeah.
70 years. Now we start to have massive application of using laser. For example, you got short-sighted or long-sighted, whatever. We have a call like LASIK. technologies. They can correct your short-sighted, Then it's very nice technology. They're using a laser.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I said. Now we only start implementing after 7 years of development. So nanotechnology is just 20 years back. They still got long ways to go. I can say that it's just in the kindergarten stage.
Right. So we're still like in a baby stage now.
Yeah, baby stage.
Okay. Now let's take a short little break to allow our listeners to actually digest that, whatever that you shared with us, which is very insightful. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to the Associate Professor Dr. D. Chang Fu from the Institute of Microengineering and Nanoelectronics, IMEN, from the National University of Malaysia, better known as University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back after this tune right here on TraxxFM.
With more than 500 species of flora and fauna.
It's Southeast Asia's only tropical spice garden.
Visit Penang 98.7.
Unwind from the traffic in Kuala Lumpur.
Feast your ears to soothing music on your favorite station.
TraxxFM 90.3 Kuala Lumpur.
Hey, welcome back to the second part of the interview. This is Trax Momentum with me, Sophia. Allow me to reintroduce my guest, Associate Professor Dr. D. Chang Fu from the Institute of Microengineering and Nanoelectronics, IMEN, from the National University of Malaysia, better known as University Kebangsaan Malaysia. So we are on Facebook Live. So if you want to actually ask questions or whatsoever, do visit us right now. We are live. All right. So, Professor, since we've been talking about the basics of it, what we should know about nanotechnology, how has the whole technology evolved over the many years that we're into it? Some concerns have been raised in regards to potential health and environmental effects of the passive nanostructures or nanoparticles. So, how safe is this technology, Professor?
Actually, it's nanoparticles, nanotechnology. So far, the research haven't shows that any very bad effect on the environment, and also very bad effect to the health or anything.
Okay.
So far, it's quite good. But that's, what I try to say is still at the very beginning stage. Our research, all these risks and all the science things goes parallel together nowadays. So we're not working on the application on it. We're also working to see the possible risks and all these things and try to avoid it at the same time.
Here in Malaysia, are we working with international agencies when it comes to the research of nanotechnology, Professor? Are we in the process of that, or are we currently in it? So do we have any form of communication and sharing session, perhaps? Do we have that?
You mean sharing session with the publics or what?
No, with international agency with other countries, or perhaps in Southeast Asia itself. Do we do that, or mainly we're just doing research, among ourselves here in Malaysia?
Oh yeah, we do have conference all the time. So we travel around,
okay.
and then we sharing opinions. All these are very important because science and technology, not only science and technology, every issue is now every issue is a global issue.
That's right.
Kind of like it's the basic things that are all the same. The basic concept, the basics, fundamentals things is all there. Everybody says having the same problem.
Right.
So the settings and discussing is very important.
I see. Okay, so there's a question here. It asks, what are the differences or similarities between nanotech and biotech?
Biotech is another popular terms nowadays. So it can be nanotech. I'll put it like this. Okay, nanotechs it can be biotechs also.
Okay.
And biotech it can be nanotechs also. For example, okay, you use nanotechnologies you use in treatment cancer cell or this treatment of this cancer. Then what happen is we can call it as a biotechnology as well.
Right. Okay. So you are definitely one person that's very suitable to talk to when it comes to the research on micro or nanotechnology. Now, you've been with IMAN, which is one of the pioneer centers in Malaysia, doing researches on micro nanomaterials and applications, and having more than 10 years experience in nanotechnology related fields. So with that being said, maybe you can get into detail and share with us about your works. What have you been doing for the past 10 years or perhaps some accomplishments that you're really proud of, Professor?
Well, our center actually did a lot of these nanotechnology works. We synthesis, or in other words, we make nano materials. We also manipulate all these materials and we use it as sensors in our centers. Other than that, also we have these MEMS, we call it all those actuators, all those things, all those small control system things.
Right.
Those like you need it. For example, you build a robot system, you need a lot of sensor, all those kind of things. So we call it MEMS sensors. And other than that, optics, all those kind of different fields. It's a big family, like what I said. Since our institute is a big family, we all
Right.
all sorts of these research fields. So if anybody free, just anytime you can drop by, and I can show you, give you a tour, and then so you like it.
That's a very nice gesture and invitation, Professor. Now, for any listeners right now, or students who are interested to be in this field of studies, how can one proceed with this interest? And perhaps you can share with us what are the future pathways that lies ahead in this discipline of studies. If they enter into this, they study or they get into it, what are the possible career pathway that's out there for them?
Oh, a lot, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, nowadays we are talking about multidiscipline. All these nanotechnologies, all these MEMS or whatever optics things are all multidiscipline. you study, although you are studying maybe in nanotechnologies, but the basic fundamental things, you must learn it, you must know it, you must apply it. Then during all this process, actually you learn it, and then you can actually adapt to all kind of things. It's kind of like training for rational thinking or something.
Okay, so it's
Actually you can become later you can go outside, you can go abroad, you can study postdoc, whatever things you can involve in your research. You can even go to do some medical research as well, because all this we are not talking about bio is bio, physics is physics, and chemistry is chemistry. Now we are talking about cross-disciplinary study.
I see. So cross-disciplinary study, and that's definitely a vast career options available for everyone who's actually into it. So consider that, all right? So before I let you go, Professor, thank you so much for being here with
thank you
me
very much.
and enlightening us. Is there any message that you'd like to convey to the listeners or your colleagues, perhaps, whoever is tuning in right now? What do you have to say?
Science and technology, you must love it, you must know it, you must use it,
embrace it. Thank you very much for being here. Hope to have you again, and have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you. I was speaking to the Associate Professor Dr. D. Chang Fu from the Institute of Microengineering and Nanoelectronics from University Kebangsaan, Malaysia. Do not go anywhere. This is TraxxFM.
TraxxFM. Only the latest in music and news.